Did you know that chasing big magic and spiritual fireworks is a sign that you are still being influenced by religious programming? We're going to get into that in today's episode. And by the way, this will be a two-parter. So come back tomorrow to get the second half of this. Let's dive right into this episode. So I titled this Recalibrating Your Alchemy Through Stillness. And so let's talk about what I mean when I say big magic and spiritual fireworks. Okay. I'm going to give you a few examples to illustrate what I mean, because there's no definition that I can give to you. So it's better to illustrate what I mean through examples. So spiritual fireworks and big magic. This is about having spiritual experiences, going beyond logic, going beyond even your physical body. Okay, these are experiences that cannot be explained, and in some cases, you may not even want to talk about them or want to share them with anybody or want to explain them. Okay, so examples of these could be seeing actual beings. Some people may call them angels. Some people may call them angels. Some people may call them demons. It doesn't matter. Many people have had on their spiritual path experiences of actually seeing beings. Okay. Another big magic spiritual experience is astral traveling. Okay. Some people have had experiences with astral traveling. All right. Having out of body experiences. People have experienced actually seeing their body in transparent form lifting up from them. Okay. It could be in where you're having a lucid dream and that is taking place. It could be in your dreams where that is happening. And it could be while you're here. If I was going to be here and I start seeing my body lift up, okay, that's an out of body experience. All right. Another spiritual experience that's really in your face and dramatic and is just a lot to handle and deal with is seeing something happen right before it actually happens. That's a big deal. All of those examples, and I could list more, but just those examples right there, those experiences aren't something to ignore, all right? They are big and dramatic. That's what I mean. They are big. It's big magic, spiritual fireworks, all right? So I hope I've made that point. So let's move on. So if you find yourself craving experiences like these, if you have found yourself wondering why none of these events have happened to you, then you are operating from religious programming. And I'm going to get to why. All right. I'm going to break this down. So the examples, let me move my notes here. So the examples of the spiritual experiences that I presented to you, that I mentioned above, they can happen. And like I said, they have happened to many people. I've experienced some of those. Okay. And they can be a very important part of your spiritual expression, but that is not all of it. Okay. They can be a part of your spiritual expression because oftentimes those experiences go hand in hand with your spiritual science and your spiritual technology and the way that you came into this physical body, the way that you came in to practice those spiritual sciences so that you can benefit in your life living on this physical plane. And so the people that you know, love, and care about can also benefit from your magic, whether they know it or not. All right. That's another topic for another episode. But let's keep going. Another important point that I need to make here, and this is what you need to understand. If you have not experienced any of those, okay, it does not mean that you are less spiritual. It does not mean that you carry a lower level of consciousness, nor does it mean that you are less powerful than the person that has had those experiences or any of those experiences. Okay, all or just one of them. So I'm going to keep going, but if you don't take anything else from this podcast, from this episode, whether you're watching through Unleashed Alchemy TV podcast or YouTube, or you're watching or you're listening to the Unleashed Alchemy podcast, that's the only thing that you take from this episode. Let it be that. Now, what does this have to do with religious programming? Well, religion breeds conflict because it glorifies drama. So, what does religion say? Well, let's talk about it. Religion says, well, if you have challenges in your life, then you must be really, really blessed. Meanwhile, you have no idea how to handle those challenges, and the challenges remain. Religion says if you are struggling, then that just means that God is really about to bless you. And yet, your struggles don't go away, but you keep going to all the conferences, all the church services, and you're hearing God is just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait, just be patient and have more faith. God is about to bless you. All right. The church religion will also have you thinking and operating from a consciousness that says the more you struggle, the more that you are favored in the heavens. All right. If you have conflict in your life, you just give it to the God out there. Yet, meanwhile, the challenges, the conflicts, the dramas, they don't go away. And you stay in this loop where it's constantly something going on all the time, because religion has dropped that into your mind. Now it's gotten into your operating system. It's gotten into your nervous system. So then you begin to operate as a person who expects there to always be something wrong, to always have something going on, something big and dramatic is always taking place in your life. That becomes an expectation. Okay. Now, this way of living, okay, I'm going to repeat some of these things because I got ahead of myself, but that's fine. This way of living influences your consciousness. So you start, like I said, you start to expect some type of struggle, some type of hardship, some type of difficulty, some type of conflict, some type of drama. All right. It becomes an expectation for there to always be something happening in your life. Like there's no quiet time ever. You always have something going on. Okay. So then what happens is that to have calm, peace, and stillness, it becomes foreign to you and you don't even know it. And then this consciousness carries on even after you have walked away from religion, even after you have left the church. All right? Because again, this is about identity. It's about consciousness. It's about your operating system. It's about your nervous system. So now you get to recalibrate, but we'll get to that later. So this is where you have to begin to identify blind spots of religious programming. This is why this is so important. Okay? Because when you don't identify those blind spots, when you don't identify where religious programming is still operating, you take that need and expectation of drama over into spirituality, over into your spirituality. Okay. And so this is one of the reasons why you see so many people flocking to plant medicine. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with plant medicine. But what is your intention? Why do you feel like you need it? Also, in addition to plant medicine, and let me back up. Let me back up before I even get into that. Like I said, you see so many people flocking to plant medicine because they've gotten used to dramatics, and they cannot recognize magic in being quiet and still without the fireworks. Okay. So I want to clear up something here. The outer realms experiences that I mentioned earlier, those examples that I gave earlier, yes, those can go along with your spirituality, along with plant medicine. And I'm using that example because I brought it up. All right. Those are dramatic experiences, not in a bad way. They're dramatic in a sense that they can show conflict that is present, and or they can show conflict that could be approaching based on current energies, the current flow of energies, okay? Also, those experiences, experiences that come with plant medicine, the results of plant medicine, the results of having those, out of body experiences as a part of your spirituality, they can bring certain emotions that will require you to ground yourself so that you can be present in your body again. And sometimes those emotions can feel like conflict because they're meant to show you something, to give you guidance, to warn you of something before you take an action. Okay? So, but those experiences are only a fraction of your spirituality. And people use them when they're operating from a space of, oh, I have to have something big happening, because they're operating from religious programming. They are looking to those experiences for validation or for entertainment. And for entertainment, could be both, right? So these experiences are only a fraction of spirituality, okay? But to expect fireworks, to always expect the dramatics, will cause you to miss that potent alchemy that is in stillness. Through stillness is where you actually discover your sovereignty. Through stillness is where you uncover your power. So, how do you discover your power through stillness? Well, you will have to tune in for the next episode. All right, you can tune in through Unleashed Alchemy TV on YouTube, and you can listen on the Unleashed Alchemy podcast. Go to unleashedalchemy.com, where there are ways that you can work with me. There is the 24 session package that you can sign up to work with me. You do have to email me to get access to that. There is also the 55-minute session that you can sign up with me. I'm doing that from now until, for right now, mid-August. All right. Just click on the link to get more information on that. You can actually purchase your session right on the site. Okay. Also, beginning August 31st is my 8-week live session called Unleash Your Sovereignty. We are going to dive in on how to recognize blind spots of religious programming. Before the program is over, you are going to be walking in the fullness of who you are as a sovereign being. You're going to understand your spiritual gifts and how to use them, how you can benefit from them. You're going to reconnect with your identity as a powerhouse. All right. So after each session, you're going to have tips and you're going to walk away with actionable things that you can do in your life after each session. The link to secure your spot, all right, and to also read how each section is broken down and what we're going to cover in each of those 8 sessions. You'll be able to find that out on that particular page. Click on the link in the description box of the video and in the show notes if you're listening to this on every podcasting platform. All right. So I have books, I have individual courses that are very transformational, and you can use them as tools on your spiritual path. All of that is at unleashedalchemy.com. And tune in for the next episode so that you can know how to discover your power in stillness.